Hello everybody, WaffleTime here. After you defeat the mechanical bosses, you'll get a tip saying that the jungle is growing restless, meaning Plantera is feeling ripe for the picking and wouldn't mind us marching over to the jungle and turning her into a salad. So today, we're going to be doing that by first going over your armor and accessories, then an arena setup, your buff potions, and lastly a method for each class to prevail in this battle. First, let's talk about your armor real quick, since it's just about time to take your armor up a notch from our battles with the mechanical bosses. Your best choices are going to be between one of the hollowed sets or chlorophyte sets. Personally, I think hollowed armor is a tad bit tougher to pull off, but definitely doable, and I like to save my chlorophyte for after Plantera when you can start making some really sick armor. For summoner, you'll probably want a gun for the hollowed armor summoner set, and for melee, using turtle armor is going to be your best bet. Now let's talk about your accessories. A cross necklace or some variation of it is a given. A good set of wings, some fast boots, and a shield of Cthulhu are an absolute godsend for your general mobility, as well as having a worm scarf or a brain of confusion for some damage nullification. Also, an emblem for your prospective class is very helpful in increasing your overall DPS. A Charm of Myths is also very nice for regeneration and reducing your potion cooldown. Now let's talk about your arena. For the first phase of Plantera, she's slow as shit and pretty easy to avoid, but shoots seeds and stuff at you, which, nobody likes. So for this phase, you'll want a wide open arena with some nice and spaced out platforms. For the second phase, however, she goes absolutely fucking feral and starts flying at you, which makes this arena a little hard to deal with, so I'll let you in on a little secret. Making a giant tunnel above your head makes this second phase really easy to deal with. It makes you able to fly up and down it, avoiding most of the second phase's attacks. So that's another addition to your arena you may really want to invest in. I also recommend decking your arena out with heart lanterns, campfires, maybe a honey pool here and there, just anything you think could be useful for your battle. Before we start tossing some salad, let's talk about your buff potions. For this fight, I recommend Iron Skin, Endurance, Regeneration, Swiftness, and Wrath or Rage, and a quick snack for the well-fed buff. If you're going with summoning, make sure to drink a summoning potion for an extra unit. If you're using a magic weapon, make sure to drink a mana regeneration and magic power potion. And lastly, if you do end up using something with a bow and arrow, an archery potion helps tons. Also, an Inferno potion is extraordinarily helpful for this fight since it helps ward off some of Plantera's attacks in the second phase of the battle. Now that we've got your armor and accessories and also your buff potions squared away, let's jump right into Life Force potions too! Fuck! Finally, let's jump into battle, kill Plantera, and make the world's most forbidden salad out of her. I'm going to start with the melee method. For this method, I use the Death Sickle, which despite it having low DPS, actually hits multiple times, so in retrospect, absolutely shreds. I really was not expecting it to do too much work, but man, it just works absolutely phenomenal against the way Plantera moves. I also made good use of a Fire Gauntlet, which is definitely a great perk for us melee users to have. So, about the battle, you'll notice the same pattern for every single method. The first phase is simply dashing and flying in a circle, which helps avoid most of Plantera's attacks. At this phase, she kind of just shoots seeds at the player and sends out spiky balls, which you gotta watch out for. Going in a circular motion through this is definitely the way to go. The second phase, however, she decides that she's had enough of your bullshit and busts open the Venus Flytrap Maneater 10,000 combo on your ass, becoming much faster, shooting spores, and becoming much more aggressive. This is where your tunnel in your arena becomes very handy. Flying up and down it helps you avoid a ton of her attacks and makes dealing with the second phase a whole lot easier. Make sure not to get juggled, and you should definitely be in business with this method. Let's move on to the Ranger method, which may be a complete blast from the past for you guys. I actually use the Mega Shark with Ichor bullets. Crystal bullets also work great, but I just love Ichor. It is simply built different. The method literally does not change for any of the classes. You have to keep flying around in circles around Plantera to avoid the seeds and the majority of the spiky balls and keep on shooting. This method and the melee method are probably the easiest and least attention demanding. You can actually afford to get hit once or twice and bounce back from it, unlike summoners. Goddamn summoners. I don't know how you do it. Once that second phase kicks in, go ahead and fly on up. Another tip for this tunnel method is to make sure you don't go up and down too fast because Plantera is such a sensitive bitch when it comes to despawning. I'd say keep a part of her on screen at all times. Another tip is sometimes bringing her to one corner of your tunnel, then making a mad dash to the other side when you get to the top. It helps avoid straight up contact damage from her. Ranger battles for the most part are very painless most of the time. I absolutely love it. So honestly, as long as you keep on shooting and try to avoid getting juggled, the Ranger method will suit you greatly. Now let's move on to our less defensively stacked friend, the Mage. For this method, I use the Sky Fracture and the Piss Book. Which you all know I absolutely love using in order to lower a target's defense. Oddly enough, this method is just about the same exact thing as the Ranger method, except for obviously the accessories. As usual, do not forget to get a metric assload of good tier mana potions and have the Mana Flower accessory on you. Not having to switch away from your weapon to drink a mana potion is what really separates virgin mages from Chad mages. The difference is night and day. As you may notice, we aren't able to eat hits from Plantera as easily as melee or range class setups, so you may want to start being a little more cautious of your surroundings. Really utilizing that Shield of Cthulhu to get out of sticky situations. Other than being more cautious and lugging around 17 gallons of mana juice at all times, not much is really different from the ranged method. Keep going around in circles for the first form of Plantera, keep dodging those seeds and try to avoid the spiky balls at all costs, and when she decides to go sicko mode, retreat to the vertical tunnel you made and try to make good use of the Shield of Cthulhu to dash around Plantera. For this method, really as long as you're well stocked on potions and avoid taking too many hits, you're going to be in business. Oddly enough, I had less trouble putting ranch dressing on Plantera as a summoner than as a mage. That didn't come out right. Oddly enough, I had less trouble completely regularly like a human being defeating Plantera as a summoner rather than a mage. I used the Sanguine Staff and I used the Durendal to hit Plantera when it was safe to do so. I dominantly let the bats go to work, but definitely used the whip when I had the opportunity. It's more important to avoid her attacks than to use the whip for the extra damage though, since summoners don't get too much defense. In the Mage Method, you had to be careful about the attacks. For the Summoner Method, you have to be ultra turbo mega careful about her attacks because they hit very, very hard without ample defense. Honestly, the bats actually don't do too bad at all against Plantera. I feel like the first phase was pretty easy in using the whip. The second phase, however, was mostly evasion. The bats can hit multiple targets at once, so they take care of Plantera's extra bits that try and attack you as well. More than anything with summoners, most fights are going to be hitting and running and letting your summons go to work, which is precisely what I'm doing here. A couple times in the tunnel, though, I got hit way more than I wanted to, so I had to start playing it really safe. So as long as your dominant focus is letting your summons go to work and evading her attacks, you're going to do fantastic with this method as well. Having all that said, I think that just about covers it for today, you guys. Unfortunately though, that's going to be all for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content like this, and comment down in the comment section below. Also, if you haven't already, join our Discord, link is in the description. Thank you all so much again for watching, you're all the best, and I'll see you guys next time.